We're in our third season of Southern Entrepreneur, and we'd like to thank our sponsors, Jason Hunter Design, BMW of South Atlanta, Cooper Lighting, and Cylon.
If you enjoy one of these videos, send it to someone that can find it useful.
So I was in college at the time I started my career path. I was working at Walmart. I'd kind of moved up from ground zero of Walmart, was an assistant, I was assistant store manager at the time. Realized that I didn't want to do that full time. Ran into a guy at the gym. He was working for a transportation company. When I started in transportation, really didn't like it. Got my butt kicked all the time. I was working a lot, and I was working a lot everywhere. So realized that I had to cut Walmart out and delay my college at the time. So I was a junior when I stopped college for a little bit and said I'd get back to it. Never did, because this kind of overwhelmed me. Worked 80 hours a week, cut my teeth in the transportation business from the ground up. So started working on the dock, went to driving a truck, went into night operations manager, excelled there. Being an operations manager, I did every aspect of the job. And I'm talking from cleaning bathrooms sometimes to putting in orders, doing every facet of it, dispatch, everything in transportation you could possibly do at the time with this company. Started working in sales. The first year I was there, they kind of just thrust me into it. I took over Rich Coins accounts and realized that I had a real knack for this. So, and I think it's because of the 80 hours I was working in operations. I didn't have to do that anymore, but I did it anyway. So I was probably working 60 hours, but I was doing a lot of research on the side just to familiarize myself with sales, first of all, reading books like crazy, and also learning more about customers and relationships. And again, realize that sales is all about relationships. That's all it is. The first year in sales, I ended up beating everybody in sales. Won the Salesperson of the Year award. Most salespeople were getting one new account a month. I was getting 52 in the year. So out of that I became the top salesperson in the company. I ended up excelling in that for years. July 13th will be 13 years that I started my own company that was founded on my business principles and my sales side of it and the operations side of it, so I could kind of bring it together and start it up. First year was crazy as they should be, but it was very successful first year. Usually I think it takes 3 years for most companies. We've been successful the whole time. So while I was with this previous brand, we were brainstorming between myself, Chris Fisher, who's my business partner now, and another guy named Todd Burnett, who I wanted to be an integral part of this as well. We started thinking about what it would be like to do our own thing. So we sat down in my basement and started putting a plan together for what that looks like in a terrible economy. I knew I had business. I knew Todd Burnett, who was in sales with me at the time, he had business, and I knew Chris could run it. So we said it would make sense to me to bring those two on with me, and then we brought a 19-year-old kid, Logan Kimsey, who's still with us, by the way, today, on as well to start this up from kind of ground zero. Honestly, it's scary. It's scary to be an entrepreneur. It's scary to jump out on your own, especially when you are very successful. And I was making great money. So that first year, I'll be very honest, I didn't make as much money, of course, but I was willing to make that step. I had to have the right personnel with me. We made a plan. I took 50% at the time. Chris Fisher, 25%, Todd Burnett, 25%, and we started making this happen. Since then, we've kind of changed things up. We bought Todd out. Todd's still with the company, and he's fantastic. He's our #1 sales guy. So, but he just didn't want a piece of that at the time for various reasons. So we bought him out. I took 65, Chris has 35, and this has been honestly fantastic road. We transport freight from point A to point B. We do it via airline, we do it via truck line, we do it via rail, ocean, whatever out there. So my transportation would be picking a product up at point A and moving it to point B. We now do air freight, trucking, warehousing, fulfillment, pick and pack operation. We do a large gamut of things that we would have never thought of. And it was all because my customers came to me and said, do you do this? But we said, sure, we'll try our hand in it. Just tell us what you're looking for and we'll do it. So I've learned with hiring and firing, don't do anything out of desperation. You end up getting somebody that's not as competent as you need them to be. Make the right choice, even if it takes longer, to get the right person. Hiring good, qualified people is very difficult. I'm a man of faith. God has been very good to us. He has blessed our company and my company completely. Without him, I wouldn't be here, honestly. Every decision I've made is ran through God's praying about it, making sure I'm making the right choice. I think it's good. He gives us everything. I think it's great to give back. I think that's a lot of the reasons why I've been blessed. And also the reasons, another reason I think I have been blessed is because I give back to the community, secondly, and I also give back to the next generation. It's great to take someone under your wing. We do that. We've got an intern working for us now, and I love taking someone young, new, under my wing, telling them my success stories, my failures, and hopefully it's beneficial to them on their journey.
We couldn't do our videos without our sponsors, so here's a couple of lifestyle videos and then we'll be back to the program.
We look at, and I've looked at in my success story, as having integrity. I mean, it is everything in the business world. Being truthful, being held at your word is a big deal. I'm going to give you one of those stories of the way I kind of figured that out. So when I was very young, I was 20 years old when I got in the transportation business. Had a real issue with a shipment that we were transporting for a company that everybody might know. It's on every outlet. We had a shipment that was going to be late. So I went to my terminal manager at the time and said, hey, what do I do in this situation? We're late. This guy's going to be not very happy with us at this point. So what is a good way to spin this, to tell them what's happening? He said, going into a little gray area is fine. So I did. I called the customer up and said, hey, this shipment is running late. This was in 1990, so not a lot of computer access, hardly any at the time. You definitely didn't have the internet at this point. So he couldn't tell exactly what was going on, so I could tell him, hey, this freight is stuck here. Honestly, it had not left Atlanta yet. It was on a plane leaving Atlanta at the time, but it had to be in Rhode Island that day. So we were late already. So went into that gray area with the customer, told them, hey, yeah, we're on the ground in Boston. We're having to run a hot shot delivery exclusively to you. So he kind of called me on it. He had been with the company a long time. He said, Mike, you sound young. And I said, I am. I'm newly starting into this business, 2021. He said, let me tell you something. Don't ever lie. Just tell me the truth. I can live with any situation you have. If it's broke in half, whatever, tell me where the freight is. Don't lie to me. If you tell me the truth, I promise you we can get through this. But I'm going to tell you this, if you tell me a lie in the future, I'm going to give you one. If you tell me a lie in the future, I'm going to call you on it. I'm going to be real upset. So whoever told you to do this, don't do it. Just be very communicative with everyone. Just tell them the truth and they can deal with it. But if you don't, we don't know where to go on that. So where's the freight? So I told him exactly where the freight was and what was going to happen from then. He said, look, I can live with that. I can live by the end of the day today. It's supposed to be here at noon. I get it. It's not. It's going to be here by 5. I'm good. At least I can prepare my people. Otherwise, I've got people sitting around costing me money. So thank you. Said, don't do it again. And from then on, I never went in a gray area. I always told the truth, was very straight up with my customers. And we do the same thing here. We don't go into a gray area. If you tell customers, tell people the truth, they trust you. They believe in you. Embrace change. It's hard sometimes. We all have a problem, I think, at first embracing change, but it's inevitable, first of all, and to be successful, you've got to be able to do that. I had a hard time even with change as far as people leaving the company. When somebody quit or when we had to let someone go, it's very difficult on me at first. And it still is difficult, but you've got to just kind of live with that and roll with the punches. What I figured is the people we've left had a reason to leave. Maybe it was usually for the good of the company. After all, I just didn't see it at the time. So be okay with change in your company. For me, making work fun is huge. Have fun with what you do. Make it a fun environment. Make it what you love. If you don't love it, it's going to be very apparent. I love what I do. I would rather do this than anything in the entire world, honestly. I learn something new every day, and I would say that makes things fun. New tasks, and my job is never the same. Never the same. It's never dull. So it's fun every day to learn something new and take something back from that. A big thing for me is taking care of our people. I pay 100% of their insurance. Let them have a voice in every part of this aspect. It's okay to make mistakes, and I tell them that. If you're not making a mistake, you're not trying hard enough, basically. With a mistake becomes a way we can teach. I'm telling you, that is a big deal, I think, is letting people feel like they can make a mistake and not be chastised or, that we're going to let them go because of it. If it's ethical, if it's profitable, and we can do it, and we can be the best at it, we do it. If we can't be the best at it, we're not going to do it, honestly. So if we can't do it with excellence, we're not going to do it.